We're all about the 90s, the universe in a jar, pretty sunrises, and of course, metal on this episode of the Wax Poetic Podcast. Welcome. Today, my guest is Miss Alyssa. And how do I know you, Miss Alyssa?
We know each other from Austin, good old city of Austin.
It's a good place.
It is.
And you do various things. We'll get into those later, but you do various web shows and stuff like that.
You got it. Music, art, all the things creative. Absolutely.
Yeah, so you got quite a bit going on here. And today we are going to be talking about Cruel Queens, mostly their EPE. And I had some trouble with this one because it is so new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very new. I think they came out during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mostly.
How did this come to your attention?
It's a Cruel Queens, the singular queen. And I found them just doing my normal scrolling around on Instagram. It was just like a sponsored plugin or just something that was in the stream of just, being as active as I am on the music search. Yeah. It just kind of like pops up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like why I love being on Instagram so much, is that I'm literally discovering new music all the time. So they popped up and I was really intrigued with the visuals of whatever video it was. I saw, heard the music, was like instant fall in love with the sound. And it was just like 100%. And once I started getting into the music. So yeah. They are my number one top fave right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, since I'm guessing, since they are so new, that you probably haven't seen them live, right? That's not a thing.
Right.
Okay.
No. Exactly.
All right. Well, on this EP, is there a favorite song of yours that really kind of spoke to you?
When I first started listening to them, I had a couple of favorites, Sunrise and The Great Decay. Those two just kind of really, like, of course, like just getting to know any EP or any album, you just kind of start with the first ones that really catch your vibe, and then you kind of start bringing in the other ones. But as I started bringing in all the other ones, I was just, they just keep going. They came out with a couple of new ones just recently, and same deal. It's just like falling in love with each song and just seeing this whole project as one whole piece. It's just making me fall in love with it even more. Mm-hmm. So they're really catching my attention.
Going through the lyrics, a lot of the lyrics are kind of vague. So I had a hard time. There's some themes here, but it's hard. I couldn't find anything specific that they were talking about in a lot of places, but I did realize, I guess the Great Decay is probably about like classism and maybe celebrity worship. That's what I kind of pulled from that.
Yeah, overall tone of and it's just, if you watch the lyric videos, for anybody who's catching on, it kind of really throws the viewer into, I think what they're really portraying is just this relationship a person, a human being, an artist has with the whole functions of the universe, planets, a higher power, the battle from within. So like the Great Decay, it's just like there's heavens in there's like the sense of murder, there's like a raid, there's just like the beginnings of a throwdown. It's just like it's, that song really does have its own like battle to the drum beat kind of vibe going on. So I think if you take it as something against some sort of entity or something like that, that would still be appropriate. I mean, I think everyone can kind of put that in their own concept when they're hearing it. But yeah, overall, I think it's more or less a battle song.
Yeah, I can see that. I sense that.
But yeah, The Great Decay, that one was a fun one.
So if that's a battle song, you know, when you put that on, what battle is it telling you about? Is it speaking to you about?
Sure. So being an artist, like, the way for me to do my best spiritual growth and internal growth of emotions and all the things that I go through to be creative or just digest, I'm usually either getting ready for the day or driving around in the car, or just moving around, getting things set up for the next project. It's just that, like, pump up song. So if I imagine myself in the mosh pit, this would be the one that I get like pulled in there, you know, with everybody. It's just got that high up intensity energy, and the words, you know, right when you get to, like, you know, there's just this moment of murder, like, you know, what do you want to do? You just want to kind of like murder the day. You just want to go for it, you know, you just kind of want to attack it the way that you can and especially when it comes to heavy metal, for me, it makes me happy. So like any of these kinds of high intensity vibes versus words like murder, you know, like
yeah,
it's all part of like the gear up. Like if I would imagine somebody was like putting on their shanks and like putting on their brass
ready.
knuckles, whatever it was, just getting ready for like this moment of attack, like that's what it is. And I think that's what was so great about that song that caught me, because I'm just, when it comes to metal, that's definitely obviously something that we're all looking forward to when it comes to the energy of the song, you know.
Wait, so how did you get into metal? I know you were kind of wrapped into the metal scene for a while, or still are, but
Still,
you know.
yeah, I've made a talk show based off of it now.
Yeah.
You know, metal was always in my upbringing, of course, with many genres. I started getting more into metal music when I started living in Hollywood and meeting more of the metal scene and more friends, and I actually like had a strong relationship to everybody in that genre. I just started taking over, and once metal music, they started becoming more eclectic, I guess would say, that it kind of fills the void of all the things that one person may need. So
Yeah.
it just can go in any direction, any volume, any pace. It just really has a wide diversity that it just, the more I get into it, it becomes endless. And I'm so enthralled with it that I've just made it my prime, you know, focus of music genre.
Huh. So do you happen to remember the first metal song you heard?
Okay, so we're going
might be a
back to the
stretch.
90s, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're going back. We're going to go way back here.
We're gonna go to the 90s. And it's so funny because I grew up in like grunge music and rock and roll, but I was also a San Antonio kid, so I was into more gangster stuff growing up as a kid. So I already had like this need to feed the beast.
Yeah.
And being a confused teenager girl that I was, I found my solace in the band Kitty. So like Kitty's that all female band that like really started the 90s with like you know, just that feminine energy.
Yeah, I do remember Kitty. Yeah.
Yeah, so like of course, you know, the high school chick that was my first jam. But aside of that, like, you know, what was it, the Slipknot concerts was always happening. I forget, with Knot Fest or something, I can't remember, it's so long ago. But when they would start playing the festivals during the summer, Slipknot was like still nothing really big into the, you know, mainstream yet. And so I got to see them early on, and they were just, you know, everything I needed as far as music delivery. I mean, it's showbiz at its best. So
it's
like
a theatrical
those two,
presentation. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm all about theatrics, being a performer and everything. So those two kind of definitely set me off in the right direction. From there, you know, Cold Chamber and Seven Dust, and it kind of just started filling in the gaps everywhere from there. Go lay down. Oh, sorry, cool. My dog wants to talk. She has 2 cents to say.
Oh, we got a special guest. All right.
Yes,
yeah,
she's always here. Guest. I swear I deal with her in my when I'm filming in the house. She's always here. But it's fun. Yeah, metal has always been a part of my life, big time.
That's cool. I think I grew up as a metal kid. Well, my metal journey is kind of a roller coaster, I guess. Because I was like 11 listening to like Slayer and Nuclear Assault.
Nice. Oh, and, yes, of course.
You know, and after a while, I kind of got into punk. But then I kind of dipped out when like new metal kind of really hit the scene.
I think we all kind of did.
I was like, this isn't for me. I'm not feeling this. And
yeah.
Then it was probably like shortly before I met you, or around when I met you, I guess. I was playing Warcraft one night, and nice. This probably mid to late 2000s, somewhere in there. I was playing Warcraft, and I was talking to one of my guild guys, and he's like, I was telling him I don't listen to metal anymore. I just gave up on it. He's like, oh, you need to listen to Gojira. And I think from Mars the Sirius was like the most recent album, and he gave me that, and I listened to it. I was like, wow, okay, because it kind of sounded new.
Yeah,
it didn't sound like the other metal that had been like coming out, and I was like, wow. And speaking of which, I've been listening to that new Gojira like constantly since it came out at the beginning of the month.
Do you love it? Do you love it? Gojira is just really kicking ass.
I do love it, yes.
I would say within the past 10 years has the metal been kind of regenerating itself and figuring out new ways of doing it. So Gojira is definitely a product of that. Mm-hmm. Highly recommend.
Well, there's a song, Chasing Death. This one was also a bit vague, but what I was getting from it was about maybe rebirth. But he's talking about the sun burning, and I realized, it seemed like he's talking about a year. So maybe he's talking about rebirth is what I was pulling from that. And so I think everybody kind of runs into those times of their lives when something new happens, and it kind of gives them a new kind of energy.
There you go. And again, like he's always talking about this bigger element, which is just the cycles of the world and how we can be incorporated with it. So it's, watching like the crows feed, and just like still remains like this relationship of like, take my lungs, bury me deep kind of thing. We can escape the light, my world. And so it's just like, how many times do we find ourselves being in this poet ballad with the earth of like regenerating this new rebirth on a consistent basis after being devoured by it, like, I think that is like the element of, we're chasing a death life sentence. Because we're always having to be recreated. But that's, I think, again, like why metal music is so needed in this process of what we go through, what we feel emotionally. And again, like, let me bring everybody back to why this even popped out to me in the get-go is that the visuals in their videos, if you look up their lyric videos, it's really doing its job on putting you in the place where these lyrics are going to start making sense. It's all elements of the world. You'll actually see like the ocean and things burning and crows eating and whatever have you. Just kind of putting you in the purpose of what this world is. It's just like, you're part of this. We can accept this, or we can go through it together, and here's the music that will score your movie. Like, this is how you do it. Yeah, exactly. But that's just like several things to love about Cruel Queen. Is just their videos really don't have anything to do with them playing their instruments. It's all this really cool visual work. So whoever's making their videos, I was trying to look that up. Great fucking job, because I'm into it.
And I remember when you moved back to Austin, you kind of just almost instantly, it seemed that you were like, hey, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start doing this. And,
I love it.
I do remember, that was probably a rebirth for you. Just like, I'm going to restart my life right here.
Yeah, exactly. I left a lot of it in the West Coast, so rebirth myself. It was interesting because I still wanted to keep my my passion for music alive. I really wanted to keep all the work that I did and accumulating this industry of musicians and the music that I was into. So, going from performing in Hollywood on stage, I wanted to kind of take that into somewhat a similar platform, but a little different. So I came up with a talk show. And what better way to be in Austin than to really get involved with musicians that tour through here or also from here, getting into all that stuff was just kind of like, well, a no-brainer because I'm in what was the capital city music of, the world. So yeah, it kind of just made itself available and I just went with it and it went off like butter. It was pretty awesome.
Hey everybody, this is Jacob, co-host of the Ginger on Ginger podcast. It's a free-flowing comedy show hosted by two of Montana's most award-winning red-headed comedians. Each week, myself and my co-host Alex offer the ginger perspective on a new topic, with a candidness that would make fellow ginger Conan O'Brien blush. Subscribe to Ginger on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app. You can also join our Patreon at patreon.com/gingeronginger to get bonus episodes, online game nights, and the opportunity to tell us exactly what to discuss. And don't forget to bring some sunscreen. Back to you, Levi.
Well, the next song, I guess, Deicide, I guess that's the metal song there. And you can't have a metal song without, being angry at God. Are you like an atheist? Is that? I am an atheist. So
are you?
I am.
I'm not sure. No, I mean, like, and this was so funny because, like, as you're having me prepare for this, I started going back over the videos on how much everything is kind of God related.
Yeah.
I haven't really gotten into Deicide yet, but Mouth of the Earth and Hands of Rot are their newest songs, and I'm just like, now it all makes sense. And I know the guys have been working their way into making an album, but this kind of starts putting in a lot of the subject matter of like what their album could be as a whole. So, just those, again, overtones of like this big element, of the world that's happening. But I think there's the presence of like a lot of the God, elements and aspects of like what is Cruel Queen? I kind of started asking myself, like, Cruel Queen, wouldn't that be to some people God? Wouldn't that be? Would it be the the universe always kicking in and putting us down and bringing us back up? I mean, that's the Cruel Queen of it all. It's like this goddess kind of entity is just happening while we're trying to live and breathe through it and survive it. And so yeah. So I go back to like their first two songs that I started with, The Great Decay and Sunrise, started making more sense as like they're on this way, this journey, this battle, this purpose. And then we have like their newest songs. It's Mouth of the Earth and Hands of Rot, kind of just starts tying everything together. But everything's just, I think you're on the right path of understanding where they're going with this. Gotta love it. Yeah. But back to the atheist question. I'm more of a, like, what I would tell everybody, I'm just a spiritual person at heart. I do believe in like good and evil, just because it is just the way of nature. There's always just, the yin and yang of everything. So if I have any beliefs on any kind of God presence, it's just like, just understanding that there's just something bigger than us. And to me, that's the universe. That's just the science and the living and breathing thing that is something that we can't control, and it's going to do what it does. And I think that's very godly.
Yeah.
Do I believe there's a creator out there? Maybe, yeah, sure. I think, something in some part of the design had a plan, and if it's science, then that's cool. I do have moments where I'm like praying to God and like whatever that is at the moment. It's at least it's a something that I'm relating to and connecting with, and that could be a man, female, whatever it is. But yeah, there's a name for it. That's as far as I go with it.
Yeah. How did that develop? Were you just, because I grew up Catholic, I don't know about you.
Oh, right on.
And after a while, it was just kind of all fell by the wayside.
Well, as any organized religion might do, it gives you a specific path of understanding. There's this rule book of things that happened, and you can question it all you want, and there's just not at the end of the day, might not be enough evidence for you to absolutely believe it, like to your core. But going through life in the way that I have, it's a very intense background I come from, and it only got more intense as I went through life as an adult. And I ran into probably some of the biggest life battles that someone could go through, and met some of the most interesting people that were in tuned with with other things that I can't even begin to there's just not enough time on the show to go into it. But you know, when you have so many things that are laid in your lap, and you start putting them together, you can't question it anymore. Then that becomes your truth. It's like once it becomes tangible, there's a belief around it that it exists. So when the world kept showing me all this truth by just giving me all these elements and all these tools to understand like how it works and its dynamic, I believed in that there's definitely the higher things that are happening outside of us. There's different, consciousnesses. There's, many levels of like our past lives, and reincarnation could all throw in there if we wanted to, but like all these things could possibly be real if you've tapped into some of these places, which I've had. Yeah. It sounds pretty crazy, but that's exactly what it is. It's like, organized religion and getting people to be controlled by the masses of this like order. Same thing with like the universe giving us evidence of how it works. It's all part of the craziness. It's just kind of where are you getting all your information? Yeah. Is where you're gonna believe it or not, But yeah, I've had a very interesting life. Needs interesting music to go along with it.
There we go. That's yeah. Just get a soundtrack for it, of course.
There you go. That's all you need. Exactly. Reasons why I need certain bands in my life, and this is one of them.
All right. No, yeah, I think everybody kind of goes through that of, what kind of belief, what makes you, what structure is underlying for you that makes you who you are and what you think and what you believe, and, what drives you to do what you do.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. I think that's just an interesting aspect of all people. Everyone's got it. Everyone's got a different story for that. So it's cool to hear.
Yeah, exactly. I guess being a metalhead, you kind of run into like a lot of atheists, and it's interesting to listen to Gods Like Cruel Queen. Another one is The Faceless is really good at talking about like these godly presences and things like that. And it's just, you can go to a metal show and we'll hail Satan all day, but, yes. But we're going to talk about the presence of God as well. And that's what's kind of interesting, is to like walk into these atmospheres of music being played that is like people are just slaying it on the mosh pit and like headbanging to their heart's content. But what the music is saying is, it's just let us be known that we are in this world regardless of what we believe. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, yes, let's do acknowledge that we are in this jar of stars and planets and like every, oceans and shit, all that stuff. And let's just go from there. Can we just call that just something bigger than us? And then we can make music about it.
Well, I like this idea of the jar of stars. Oh man, it's like a caterpillar in a jar with a couple of holes poked at the top, and give us a little bit of air and let us roll around in there. Yeah, make a couple of
best
cocoons.
Knowledge we know is we could be in the jar.
Oh, yeah. Next song was Crawl, which seemed to be about when somebody kind of gets under your skin, maybe in a good way, maybe in a bad way.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's weird when you get close to people, you know, they're spending time
Tell
with
me
them,
about
it. Or just having to be around people that you work with or something. And
I get it.
It's weird having to navigate those relationships, especially with somebody that just annoys you.
Definitely, like, following their lyrics of Under My Skin. It's a conversation happening. I really took onto this song for the aesthetics of the musicians playing it. It's just a really good intro, as a lot of their songs have really good intros, but this one definitely showcased the guitars. I love the guitars, drums kick ass as well, but I think there's like more of this balance happening with his vocals and screams and singing, like with all the other songs. But I do believe that it's meant to just kind of really do get under your skin, which is great, because you're just like, you're floating and you're being driven through the song, vocally and instrumentally. And I think that was a great delivery for exactly what they want this song to go. There's just so much elements in this one song in particular. But Under the Skin, indeed. And if you've watched the video on this one, it's pretty trippy. So like another crawling under the skin element is they delivered this. Do you remember like MTV2 back in the day where you just watch nothing but trippy videos? This is definitely one of them.
Oh yeah.
You remember that show?
Yeah.
Late night, 3 a.m.
It just shows that's when the weird stuff came out.
Yes, exactly. This would be the video to add to it. Just trippy vibes.
The Butthole Surfers videos would be shown, I guess.
Exactly. Or like Soundgarden, Black Hole Sun, that trippy shit.
Do you miss music videos? Like, I know they still make them, but but you gotta
like having an MTV.
Yeah.
That was kind of like my idea when I started my talk show, being so music generated, is using our platforms of social media kind of like MTV channels. So if you follow my Instagram stories, I'm posting almost every day, but it's a compilation of bands I'm just discovering. It's stuff from my actual post of either show idea or project idea or an actual interview, and then just random things I find to post, and it's kind of like you can kind of click through them all and just kind of get what MTV was, a bit of drama, a bit of reality, a little bit of music, a little bit of comedy, all that crazy fun stuff. I miss music videos, but I think with how everything's been going with social media lately, that music videos have definitely come back in a whole new way. Even if people are just doing a little promo clip, and that's kind of all we have sometimes, is like a 3-second to scroll through something as we're like getting through our day, can lead people into, go to their YouTube or go watch their full episode somewhere, and we can really dive into music videos. So the fact that they're available is good. I think it's what's replacing buying a CD. So if you like the video, you can buy the music, but have your visual to go along with it is what keeps me happy. But I'm a filmmaker, so like I need the visual stimulation as much.
Give it a little bit of all.
And but it's also like a great way for people to show their creativity and what kind of message they want to portray. So like, if you're a metal band and you want to give the message, it's like you can give the message by how you're performing, you know, and how the editing goes into the music. I mean, because I think editing now has become so important with music videos. It's again why I love this band, is like whoever's doing the music, you know, I mean the video editing is really doing a great job, that we're doing something different, you know, like we're not just in a room, which is great. There's some good shit out there, but
yeah,
but like I want to
helps,
see some things. Yeah, I'm into like all that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos and then I've liked the song, but then outside of the video, I don't like the song as much. I don't know if you,
Same.
Yeah, it's like, wow, they just made such a great video that it made up for being a weak song.
Exactly, I've seen that before. Yeah, no, it's good. It's two into like worlds of creation. I love it.
All right, wow. Well, the song Sunrise.
Yeah.
I don't know. My big question on that is like, when was the last time you actually watched the sunrise?
Ooh, fun question. Actually watched the sunrise and wasn't just up for it.
I don't mean you were out drinking and you were just awake. Yeah.
But which fortunately hasn't happened as much these days as I'm getting older. But it can happen. I was just on vacation, but the last time I actually enjoyed a sunrise, I would say on purpose, was a couple summers ago. Probably not even summertime. I took my dog out to one of the Texas beaches, and it was just like a solo trip. I just needed to get away and be in something bigger than me, like the ocean, which, you know, it kind of puts things into perspective. And we went out there. I didn't even get a hotel. I just slept in my car with my dog. It was that nice of weather, you know, on the beach, because we, you know, we can do that in Texas. And you know, we slept for a little while, and then we got up at like 5 or so when, you know, it started getting a little bit lighter, and then I had a bottle of wine and I just started drinking the rest of this bottle of wine and started, you know, tossing the ball for my dog, and I actually took pictures and whatnot, but so I have those memories. But that was probably the most intention, you know, to see a sunrise and do all that jazz. It was pretty epic. I mean, over the beach, you really can't go wrong with that. But you know what, maybe it's something that like we do every now and then. I mean, how often are we really seeing sunrises? Oh, I take it back. I did go see one more sunrise in the mountains of North Carolina. I was in a cabin out in the mountains there, and that was pretty dope. So like making it a part of my vacations, I think is a good idea. Yeah, definitely. But this song Sunrise, I think his poetry opens up a lot more. And it should. I guess you're talking about a sunrise and shit. It's the best opportunity to do it. But one of the fun things about this band is that like you'll catch some phrases of words every now and then, and his voice is just carrying it for you as he gets into more of his melodic stuff. But the eyes and the sun collide, set the mood. Like that's all I need.
Setting the
That's
mood.
A great word. Just set the mood for my day. And
what mood are you in?
Yeah.
I'm in sunset. I'm in sunrise. I'm
in the sunrise mood, and it's cool because it's just like, okay, if our eyes and the sun are colliding, then you know what else is setting the mood in this song. So it's just like it just drives the right element. So yeah, that one's a good one. It also reminds me a lot of back in the 90s again. Like I was listening to a lot of Deftones, and obviously like they have a lot of really good influences that are carrying on today in this band. But it was the same elements. Like as I'm driving and I'm just like working through life in my head, and there's these like words that I'm just gonna catch, and then like the days of listening to this whole entire album is going to get me through the day or get me through this next chapter of life and all that jazz. This is why this song was like one of my top favorites at the get-go, because it just was it's now something that I get to do with a new band. I could just throw it on if I'm really needing to like sort some thoughts out or just be in the mood, be put in the mood while I'm getting going, you know, like the other song was like the battle, get ready, like let's get down song. But this song is kind of like, okay, I need to do some mental clarity. Can you please set the mood for me? And there you go.
Wow. All right. Well, my next question was going to be when you put these on, but that I guess you totally answered all that.
There you go. There you go.
All right, now we're gonna play a quick game here.
Oh, I love games.
This is called Lyric or Just My Diary.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read some words to you, and you got to tell me if it's lyrics from. I'm just going from the EP, lyrics from any of those songs, or just stuff I made up.
Oh, this would be fun.
The stuff I make up is going to be Weird Al version, though. Just like it'll fit.
Oh my god!
Somewhere in there, I just change words. You get it. You understand.
I get it. Yeah. Okay,
right.
Go for it.
All right. In my world, we can escape the light alive.
That's definitely a lyric.
All right. Yes, it is a lyric from Chasing Death. All right. Here's the next one. A wound forever bleeding, my dreams invading the day, devouring all my thoughts.
Oh, that's pretty close. Shit, I think that's pretty much going to be your line.
That's correct. I made that up.
I'm doing so good. But really well done.
That's from kind of The Great Decay. The real lyrics were a fiend that's always begging, the vision of a weighted sun swallowed by the sky.
There you go. Nice.
All right. What's good when hell is our home? Another breath wasted.
Oh gosh, that might be a lyric. I'm trying to think of what song. No, yeah, it's definitely a lyric.
That is a lyric from Decay.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like you found a home underneath my skin, living and breathing the air.
Lyric?
That's correct. That's probably the easiest one there. All right. Last one. Follow the winding paths, forever just out of my sight.
That one's definitely you.
That's correct.
Yeah. Yay!
You did it, 100%.
I love it. What do I get?
You win
a spot on the show.
Yeah, I was just gonna trash this whole interview if you failed it. I'd be like, can't let them know that you don't know the lyrics after you said you like
them. And denied. I love it. Those boys will be proud. That was fun.
All right. Is there any songs or anything that we missed that you wanted to talk about on those?
Well, I mean, if everybody is getting onto this band, definitely their 2 new songs they just released, Hands of Rot, Mouth of the Earth. Those two are definitely defining the EP a little bit more. I don't know if you've given those a shout out yet, but the Hands of Rot was definitely hands down. I was like, okay, yay, I know where this band is going. Like, this is really fun. It's there's like Shallow Shadows, like I know them all by name. Dead Eyes talks about like our mistakes, and like Hell Swarms. It's just like, oh, I've been there in life. You know, like yeah. You're just facing this rotted place that the world kind of can offer us sometimes, and it's just like, but it's also being given to us like as a gift, and it's just, yeah, like I know them all by name. Like I know they're shallow, they're shadows, they're my shadows, they're our mistakes. You know, hell is all around here. But Mouth of the Earth is a little bit more into, again, that like heavenly, godly element of like, we're this creation. There's like talk about blood and rosaries, but like we can either still hold on to this like mouth of the earth where it is like a slow drowning. It's like it's a silent comfort. It's just the more life reality in these songs, which is kind of really rad, because I think whether the band's making these lyrics or if it's just the singer, I think they're really starting to send their immediate message in these two songs of like, okay, we're really just having these internal battles with like what's going on around us instead of just naming who they are. This is like real stuff now.
Okay, I don't know how your metal voice is, but
oh my god.
But can you sing your favorite line from this?
Oh shoot, no. I mean, like the good thing is that it's not all screaming stuff, but
even if you hum it, or whatever.
I can't sing. I can't scream for shit. I don't even know if I can scream normally. But oh shoot, what would be my favorite lyrics? I guess let's go back to like Sunrise, maybe. Step inside, like let the eyes and the sun collide, set the mood. That's basically all I got.
All right, cool. That's cool. That's fine.
There you go. That's fun.
All right. So what's on your replay right now? What else are you listening to?
As far as bands go,
anything.
I mean, I've got my go-tos on my playlist. I do mostly Pandora, so I have the whole Gojira playlist. I've got the Faceless playlist. I've got Ginger is a really good one. The newest ones that I've added on are Upon a Burning Body. Let's see who else is on there. Band of Sacrifice is there. And Band of Sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
Band of Sacrifice, sorry. And then Bystander is a new one that I just really got into. Actually did their interview during Cinco de Mayo when Austin brought them in. It was pretty rad, but just kind of like, pulling in some people that I'm starting to find new stuff. Yeah.
All right. Now, where can people find you if they need some more Miss Alyssa in their life? Where do they get you? They need it.
Absolutely. They need it. They have to have it. It's too fun. I'm mostly doing all my biz on Instagram, which does feed into my Facebook, but I think Instagram's where most of this activities, like at its best, it's a better platform for it. So Instagram, it's just Miss Alyssa Official.
I'll put a link on that for the show notes.
Yeah, put a link in there. That'll just go, and that'll take people into the other avenues of my other projects, but that's the main hub. That's where I'm using. It's the MTV channel. It's like that's where you will find everything that I'm doing on the daily.
All right, I think that's about all my questions there.
Awesome. Very cool.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad we got to give these guys a little shout out. Hope everybody tunes in.
Yeah, it's cool catching up. Haven't talked to you in forever, so.
I know. I think it's been over a decade at this point.
I think so as well, yeah.
Yeah. But music brings us all together, and that's the real point.
That's the true hero in this story.
That is the truth. Exactly.
Okay. So please check us out with a new episode every other Monday, and follow along on Facebook at Wax Poetic Podcast, on Instagram also at Wax Poetic Podcast, and on Twitter at Wax Poetic Pod.